He could have. I don't know. Ah, let's see. That's funny. Well, everybody, what's up? This is your boy One Gun here, and today, I am working on my script here. As you can see, I got many pages here done, but all my scripts are like, everything is like spread out, and a whole bunch of other thing, whole bunch of other stuff, and what more can I say? Yeah. So all my everything is like kind of spread out, and I'm trying to consolidate everything into my timeline of when and what happened. Let's see, what do I have here? So this narration at the beginning. This is a scene in a mining base where Ike and Gordo have a conversation. Um, let's see. I'm just laughing at something, not with something. I'm just having a blast there. So today I'm gonna do this stream, hopefully uninterrupted, and we're gonna have some fun. Um, like I said, we're just gonna go through the script, and I got set up the. I got some. Actually, I gotta really set up the timeline, and the whole purpose of this is to correct. The file told us about what happened on Titan Indigo. Okay, so this is the stuff that I don't even know where to start for real on trying to fix this shit. But with the thing, I don't even know what. Yeah, so okay, so this is the part. Everybody knows about this part. This part I animated already. It's basically the part where this is Hashan's in my part when we come in and we start talking to the guard and everything. The guards get suspicious. Lieutenant Smith, Roger Smith shows the tablet to the guard. Lieutenant Roger Smith, here are my orders, and you can check them out on the console or behind you. The guard turns around, badly annoyed, looks at the console, and and uh, and Smith fires a stun gun, knocks the guard out. And then Miss Smith looks over his shoulder and tells Ground 54 being a smartass. Is that the way we're gonna nap? A nap. Looks over his shoulder. Wait a minute, that's a part missing here. Yeah, this part. Smith looked over, so he looks over his shoulder and tells the drone to uncloak. The drone F-54 is decloaked, so it's supposed to be a part here. And enter. fun is all over. The fun is over. The fun is all over. 54 is everything intelligence that is. Actually, since we're introducing a new character here, this needs to go here. Yeah. So, and I can delete this. Drone name 54 decloaks and flies down, only to give Mr. Smith a near full. 54 is 54 is levitating artificial intelligence that is helping Mr. Smith / Indigo on this mission. And Lieutenant Roger Smith, let's go. Okay. Oh, O-K-A-Y. Okay. Okay. You can come out now. The fun is all over. 54, being a smart ass. Is this the way you're going to work? Going to labor this mission? He actually said work. Work this mission. Yeah, no, shooting. P-E-O-P, people in the back. Man, what? I didn't kill him. Stunned him a little. I'll get rid of this. I didn't kill him. I just stunned him a little. 54. You, my friend, are extremely careless and reckless. I don't get. Turn that to no. K-N-O-W. Know why that put me. I'm gonna keep that. There's Smith. Because I just. Dude, because I just know how to improvise any situation. Wow, you are stupid. This stunt could alert security. That will alert security. I'll change this. I think I'll keep it the way it was. So I put then we will be flooded with striker units or something else. I'm not sure. Let me check something real quick. Oh, are you kidding me? You kidding me? Oh, okay. Let me put my down thumb on that now, and let me go about my business. Okay, so say that. So let me get Photoshop out. Let me get Photoshop out here, so we can like start getting down some of the shit that's happening because this shit is crazy. Let's see, Adobe Production Premium. See, I have to do this stuff, get this stuff done. So let's get out Photoshop CS6. Okay, so I'm actually like, okay, so I'm making a pilot. I'm not doing the whole full story. So the whole full story comes when I actually get a series. So I was thinking that I'm gonna have a series, and I started like making this whole huge ass story. And I was told I don't need to do that. I just need to make a pilot about stuff that's going to be in the story, right? So I'm gonna file new newspaper. Let's see. I should have an option to make this working RGB. Oh, all these. That's cool. Whatever that is. U.S. paper. The letter. Tabloid. No. White. Okay. Let's go. Okay. And what we're gonna do is we can go to image. Image rotation. So since I okay, it's like this. Since I'm gonna save the rest of the stuff, like I'm gonna put some of her flashbacks into the pilot, but the other stuff, like the space battle stuff like that, that's not needed until basically the second episode. So we're gonna have the pilot, and then we're gonna have the second episode. So all the stuff for the space scenes, space battles, and stuff like that, we can save it for the second episode, which will actually be the first episode, which follows the pilot. Alright, so I need to start the story off in a tangible way to where okay, I have to start the story off in a tangible way. Alright, so this means that most of the stuff that I have that I wanted to put in the first episode, I can actually chop that out and make it for the second episode, so the movie can progress to as the pilot's is going to be an introduction to majority of the characters, which I have written down somewhere. Where did I write that stuff? Oh, here it is. So I have a bunch of characters here. Stella, Gordo, Pep, Hurricane, Great Ike, Stevo, Rook, Servo, Android, Scientist, Tobiah Jenkins, Gurin, Diva Omega, and we got Indigo. Okay, so these are a majority of the characters that I have for the story, and as you can see, I wrote the stuff. I had to go to some old notes, and I got the story arc right here. And my original story arc starts with the status quo, which is basically, the status quo is basically a war between two alien species, and the status quo is basically a war to obtain the keys for our archive. It's basically a cannonball run on a galactic scale, where you have the Federation, which is like on the human side of things, which is trying to protect the human race and everything, and then you have the Krill race of aliens who have been going from solar system to solar system in the galaxy looking for the keys. So far they have acquired maybe 8 or 9 keys. The human side have only acquired the master key and and 3 keys. So there's like a couple more keys that are out there, but the main thing is to have the master key, because without the master key they can't open up the slots for the rest of the other keys to fit into the sphere that it fits in. So so it's just this long fought out war, and during this war it's like who can get the keys or who can keep the other person from getting the keys. And I guess the war is going to keep going on until the Krills have to defeat the Federation, or the Federation has to defeat the Krills. Right now it's not looking good for the human race because we don't have enough keys, so we're going to have to keep on looking for the rest of the keys, and meanwhile we have to figure out how the master key works. Now we have the master key, but the master key was lost and we know we have it, we just don't know where it is, you know, sort of, kind of. And the only person who can find or even get this key and actually use it is Stella, because she has a relationship with this mechanism, this ancient alien mechanism that once assembled, ouch, ooh, my hand fell into the fan, will actually yeah, once you collect all these mechanisms, you can activate the Pandora Sphere, and the Pandora Sphere is a weapon of untold destruction that can wipe out a whole universe. So so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take this and I think I want to rotate this kind of clockwise. Okay. So now I got my canvas here. Control plus. So let's make a story timeline. Let's get this. Let's hit shift and let's pull. Oops. Oh, hold on. I'm going to make a layer here. Let's see. And it's all white. Control Z. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna go grab me some red, and I'm going to reduce the size of this thing. And what we're gonna do is from here to here. Hold on, Control Z. I got the wrong type of I should be getting this. Yeah, that worked. Control Z. That makes a nice good dot. So from here to here. Alright. And then let's see. Let's see. I'll go shift. Oops, Control Z. Let's see. We'll go here, and we're going to go shift. Control Z. Go here to here. And this right here would be a timeline. And okay, so let's see, hit the move tool, grab this, and I'm gonna pull, oops, grab this and pull this down to about right here, and hit Control T, and I'm going to pull this in here. So let's see, I'm gonna pull this. Come on, man. There we go. Put that right there. Let's see. Let's see. I'm gonna use green for this part. Let's get green. Okay, and now this is just for the pilot. This is not for the whole story. This is just to get the pilot off the ground and for it to get aired. All right. This has nothing to do. This will have some continuity when the next episode is being written. I'm only writing the pilot. It's going to be up to somebody else to do the rest that comes after this. So I need this right here, and what I'm going to do, I'm hit shift, and I'm going to try to make a sphere right here. Let's see, move the sphere. Alright. Let's see, I can move the sphere like about something like right here. Selection, transform selection, and I'm going to move this way, and I'm going to move this way, and I'm going to move this up this way, and I'm going to move this right here, and move this right here, and I'm going to move this, oops, Control Z, I think I hit this and just, yeah, there we go, and move this in this way, and move this in, move this up, and move this right here, and move this there, put this up a little bit more, and hell is he doing? Well, you'll see in a minute. Just give me a minute. Alright, I'm going to push enter, and I'm going to go over to edit, stroke. I'll make this stroke let's make it like 4 pixels. Okay, and hit Control D. Alright, so this is going to be, let's see, come over here, and come over here, go down, and hit delete. Now, what else do I need? Let's do another one. And now what I want to do, I'm going to come over here, and let's turn this blue. Okay. And I'm going to come over here and grab this. Shift. Let's see. Control R. Let's see. I would say that that's about the middle right there. So we're gonna pull this right here and go shift, and there we go. Control D, and I can go over here and pull this back over. So, oh yeah, I want to do one thing. I'm going to go with Alt, make a copy of this, and then put that right there. And hit Control T, and I'm just going to rotate it. Control Z, Control plus, minus plus plus plus. I want to get this little gadget right here. Just Control T, Control T, Control minus minus minus. I'm just gonna do it like this. Just turn it this way, and apply. What the hell? Control Z, 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 Z. Oh, that's why. Alright. I'm gonna put this right here. Actually, I don't need it. I don't need this right now. I can do it. I have that later. I'm just gonna use that for later. So, sorry saying, what the hell is he doing? Okay, so this is EFG HI. Alright, so this right here is actually let me do a little cropping here. Let me type this. This is my storyline. Storyline arc. Alright. For the PILOT pilot. Alright. Alright, so this is the storyline plot, storyline arc for the pilot. And when you make a storyline, you have to have a couple of things. Actually, 3 main things. And it's the beginning, middle, So you got a beginning, middle. All right, so you have a beginning, middle, and an end, and everything goes on this arc. All right, where everything starts off, and everything starts off right about here. You get your resolved, and then you resolve, and you work your way to the climax of the story. So the story of Jack and Jill. Jack and Jill wanted to go up a hill. I mean, that's okay. Jack and Jill are thirsty. All right, and the status quo is them being thirsty and they don't have water. All right, so that would be at the beginning, which would be the status quo. Right here, you know, between this line and this line, we actually at the beginning we build up the characters, we introduce them, we show you what's going on, we show you the status quo, we show you how things are all good until we get to this part, which would be somewhere right here where they get thirsty. Right, they get thirsty, and they want to drink some water. So right about this point is they set out on a quest to go and get the water. All right. So the next part of that would probably be let's see, status quo, quest for water, status quo, introduction of characters, the quest, and then when they get to this point, there's some obstacle in the way. All right, so in the obstacle is for Jack and Jill to what would be the obstacle? You know, they've met, they meet each other, they just talk, and they decide they get thirsty at this point, and then hit Control T. Actually, I need to move this right here. All right, cool. Let's see, and then rotate this around here. Actually, these come right here. Let's see. I should actually just move this right here. There. So now it's gonna move like a clock. All right. So right here, and okay, and I'll do the same thing to this one. Control T. I'm gonna move this right here and set it right there. Okay, so make this a little smaller, and hit that, hit apply. I'll make this a little smaller too. Control T. Yeah, so we're gonna make these right here. Okay. Okay. Hit apply. So we oh, it's not that one. It's this one that's off. Okay. Alright. So now in part of the story. Okay, so we got this side is split up in threes. Alright, so we got the introduction here. Alright, we get the introduction of both the characters here. The status quo always starts right here. The status quo starts off is basically the setting, the situation, all the other shit that's going on in the world of Jack and Jill. All right. So they meet each other and stuff like here, and then you get to this point. All right, that's taken care of. The introduction, and then the two characters, I guess, actually start to talk to each other, meet each other, and they find out a situation that they got to take care of. You know, so that's here. And right here would be the issue that gets them from here to here. Alright, so the issue would probably be the mountain. They have to climb up a steep mountain to get the water. Alright, so they make it through that challenge, and now they get to the water. All right, they get the water, they drinking it and stuff, but they have to get back down the hill. So now they have to struggle. They have to make a decision. Decision after they got to the top of the hill, how they gonna get back down the hill? You know, they got their water and everything. They made it to this point. You know, they got their resolve. I mean, not their resolve, not yet, but they have actually solved a problem of getting to the water. Now, this part of the story, it actually changed. It changes now. They're not thirsty no more, so they want to get back down the hill. So they at this point have success. This is success. They got the water. So let's see. Let me get the Control T. So now, oops, Control Z, and pull this down here. Put this right down here, and we're going to. So now they have another obstacle. All right, they gotta make it back down the mountain. All right. So at this point they say, okay, we got a water, so let's make it down the mountain. So they start to go down the mountain till they reach a problem. The problem is that, you know, one of them gets tired. You know, one of them gets tired, and they started to lose their grip and all this other stuff, and they're about to fall off the mountain. All right, one of them about to fall off the mountain. So a decision has to be made again to progress the storyline of how they get back down, which is going to be the end over here. So let's say okay, how about this? Let's say Jill accidentally hurts her hand coming down the mountain, which is the problem right here. After they get the water, they start climbing down and they incur a problem. Same thing over here, but we're working downwards instead of upwards. So we're working from the middle of the story to we're getting to the climax in the end. The climax is basically when they make it down the mountain safely. So Jill gets her hand hurt and she starts to lose her grip. Jack has to think of some way to solve this problem so they can make it to the end here. Now, I don't have to put one right here. I don't have to put a thing right here, but I will, because what it does is it actually helps move the story along. So I'm gonna hit. I'm gonna grab Alt. I'm gonna grab another one of these. Place it there, and hit Control T. And I'm gonna move this little cursor thing right there to the middle. Oops. Z. And press enter. I thought I had made another one, Control Z, but I didn't. So I'm gonna hit Alt and just grab this. Then hit Control T and then move this right here. And then move this. Oops. Move this right here, and then move this box on top of him, and then just go right here and just make this a little bit smaller, shorter. All right. And we hit enter. All right. So Jill gets weak, and this whole situation between here and here gets kind of edgy, because it's getting to the point that Jill is about to fall, and what happens is Jill begins to fall, and then Jack catches her. All right. So now in this section, Jack is trying to save Jill from dying for falling off this mountain. So we get to another obstacle. All right, the obstacle is like, okay, Jack is barely holding Jill. Jill can't do nothing because she's dangling from his hand. So we have to get to the climax, which is basically right at the end of the story arc. So Jack pulls her back up, lets her rest on his back while he climbs down the mountain with her on the back. So he solves this obstacle right here. This is the obstacle right here, and from here to there, it's very edgy until he gets to the end. So he climbs all the way down. Some stuff happens in between here and there, and he finally makes it down. And that's the end of the whole story right there. So when making a story, you have to have beginning, middle, and some type of end. Let's see. Let me do some cropping here. And I'm gonna pull this down and press enter. Oh, crap. Hold up. Control T. Oops. Oh, actually, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. I can just do this. Control back, and that takes care of that. So that's basically where I am with Archive right now. Okay, with the story. The beginning. Well, this is the beginning to the middle of the story to the end of the story, where everything comes to an end, and what I have to do now is take everything that I've done here for the pilot, alright, and convert it to this timeline right here. And this is how in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I broke it up in 6 separate sections. And then I would suggest you get like a notebook or something like that, and and write down everything you need, you know. Control minus. Let's see. Let me just click this right over here. All right. Actually, you know what? I should make this a little higher up there. All right, and now hit this. So this would be your. This would basically be your story arc right here. Maybe I need to stretch. And that's what I'm making. I'm designing out a little piece of. Can we see Control T? There we go. I want to pull this over here. I just want to stretch this out and give myself enough space to do my storyline on my thing right here. Hit enter, Control plus, and that's your storyline, story arc, storyline, whatever. And I'm going to put this PSD in the Movie Makers Guild. It's not movie. It's the virtual cinema, whatever guild. And where is that arc at? I think this is the arc right here. Ain't it? Yeah, that's the arc. Let me move this over some. Move it down a little bit. Yeah. So. I was thinking about using the Hammond method, you know, but this is like the most simplest way to. This is very simple, and this is more understandable, and it's quick and easy to let people know. Like if you write a story, you probably want to stick to this. You know, you probably want to stick to this type of timeline, and the reason why I say this, it looks like a half a clock, and clocks are the best indicators of time. You know, hourglass time, whatever, you know, but a clock is the best way to keep your timing of your story in place. And then on top of that, you can actually take your time and actually cut this up and actually have like side stories coming. And how you would write your side stories is I gotta make this a little bit bigger. Oh, I didn't show you that. So let me go over and crop this out again on this side and this side. This thing is gonna be huge. So how would you write your side stories? All right, so suppose you want to introduce a new character somewhere in between these segments. So what I would do is I would come over here. Let me get my, what's the name? And let me get my, let me do another color. I'll do orange. All right, do orange for side characters. So, bam. All right. So what I would do is like I would like suppose Jack and Jill meets a. Suppose between here and here they had to get some rock climbing gear. All right. So that we have to introduce a new character to the story. So I would just introduce the character here. All right. So this character right here would be the Control Z. Let me go here. This character right here would probably be the lumberjack. All right, lumberjack, mountain climber, whatever. And they meet this guy, they meet this character, and then you can actually go and just go from here and just layer up all the people they will meet here. They might go in there and meet some people from the tavern, and you put the people in the tavern there and stuff, and then this would basically be the side. So your side story would be they go to the tavern, they meet these people, these rock climbers, they give them information about the rock climber, blah blah blah. And then they're on their way to the top of the mountain. No, okay, so from here to here, they're on their way to the mountain. They could meet up at this cavern and get some gear. And after they get the gear and get all the information they need, they can go on to the next part of the story where they get to the actual top of the mountain. All right. So maybe between this point and this point, they will between them climbing down the mountain and get to this point, they meet a billy goat. So we'll click, oops, Control Z. Oops, sorry about that. Control Z, Control Z, and this evil billy goat right here causes a string of events which causes Jill to get her hand hurt. Maybe the billy goat kicks a rock loose and the rock falls down and hits her on the hand. That's how she gets hurt. All right. So the billy goat is another character you would introduce right here in the middle on the sideline. You know, it's another character. Because the reason why we introduce these characters later, they don't necessarily have to be introduced at the beginning. We can actually introduce these characters later on down the storyline. All right. And during the middle of this storyline, we have a little side story of, you know, who these people are, what they're doing here, what information they have about the top of this mountain and this great water that's up there. So right here, we have the evil billy goat. Evil billy goat lives on top of the mountain. Don't like people drinking its water. And the reason why the billy goat is angry, blah blah blah. So we can actually do a little side story there to introduce the billy goat, and then from there we can start the events of when she get her hand hurt, which is right here, and then she falls. Jack catches her, but right here we could probably introduce another villain. All right, so we can like introduce, because we're not to the climax yet. I mean, we can introduce another issue or problem before we get there. So we can come here. Oops, Control Z. Control Z, Z. Control Alt Z, Z. There we go. So right before, you know, everything, you know, Jack is barely hanging on, and Jill's hanging on his back, and we can enter the mountain troll. Like, it'd be a mountain troll. Mountain troll hates when people go up, climbs up, and drinks the water, just like the billy goat, but more evil, more sinister, and has better weapons. Then that could be another side story character. Look, another character with a little side story, and then Jack has to fight this character And then after Jack fights the character, he can continue. I mean, he can fight the character, and then maybe by the time they get here, he's already fought and defeated the mountain troll. And when he gets down here, which is the end, you can actually bring in right here. Let's see how we do this. All right, so here, so we enter, and then right at the end here, where everything is after the action's all over with, he gets down to the bottom of the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, there are people cheering him on, saying, "Yay, you defeated the troll!" And you start introducing another little story there at the end. But this is basically the end of the story, where the town people and shit come up, and so the end. So that's basically yeah. Oh yeah, right here. So right here to here, they meet up. We meet the characters as the introduction, and then right here, we can also do this. We can introduce the reason why that water is so great. We can actually put a little side story where they meet this old guy who tells them, "Hey, you know what? There's a great place to get water, and I've been there before, and that water's so great," you know. So we introduce the old guy who tells about this great water, and they get the idea right at this point in the story, the middle of this arc right here. Say, "Hey, why don't we just go ahead on and get us some climbing gear and get us some water," right? So they start off on the quest here. This is where they start from the quest, and in between here and here, on their way to the mountain, they meet up with some people at the cavern and the old guy who sells them the mountain climbing equipment, and then they continue their quest. They come back to the main storyline. They continue their quest to the top of the mountain where they get their water, and you can do anything at this point. You can say the water gives them power, makes them younger, whatever. But they get the water and they start to climb down, and then they're attacked by an evil billy goat. The evil billy goat doesn't like people drinking the water. So what the evil billy goat does, he knocks a piece of rock down. It hurts Jill, and she starts to fall. And right here, Jack saves her, and their first obstacle, the next obstacle is met. So the next obstacle is met, and they're climbing down the mountain, all the other stuff. And while they're my bad. Yeah. So he captures her here, and he goes through the whole thing right here, and then he gets to a point to where he has to finish the climb after he saves Jill from here. So he makes a decision. He saves Jill, put Jill on his back, and now he's climbing back down. Then he meets another obstacle with it, which is the troll. Another side story or whatever. We can talk about the troll or introduce him, but we're going to basically just introducing the troll. We can do a side story on him, while we make his introduction. But he meets the troll. He fights the troll. After he fights the troll, defeats the troll, he defeats the troll here, and then he climbs down a mountain. He meets all the town folk, all that stuff. They're so happy he got rid of the troll, and everything's fine. And then, like right here, oops, Control Z. Okay, so we're at the end of the story, but then you can come to the end of the story right here and do another sideline right here, which we go back to the billy goat, who is angry because someone stole his water, and he's vowed revenge on them, and that's basically the epilogue at the end, and that's the end of the story. So the same thing has to be done to Archive Infinity. I know it's a very complex grid that I've just made, and anybody can follow this. It's real easy, simple to do, and the best thing about doing it like this is that I can add more slots being these little orange pills right here, and I can add more pegs, which are these things here, to keep my story intact. Anytime I want to introduce a character, at this stage, nothing is actually written. All right, nothing's really written. You're actually going through the steps of actually writing the story from beginning, middle, and end. If you don't have an end or a middle to your story, or you don't have a story, you just have a concept. With this, I can actually think about my concept, which is this right here. and refine it as I go to the end. So refinement comes right here in the middle. All right, so we refine our story in the middle, and then by the time we get to the end, we're actually ready for the climax. I'm gonna write with my mouse. CLIMAX. Climax. And that's what we're basically waiting for. I mean, that's what everybody waiting for, the climax, the end of the story. You know, how it's going to end. You know, and you need this. This is very important. You know, you need to work just as hard at the end of a story than you do at the beginning, because you get movies like Star Wars who just have very bad endings, and the reason why very bad endings is because they put everything at the beginning. They totally just started off as a good idea, good concept. Great concept, you know, great concept. But it was good until it got here to the middle, where they didn't really refine. No, really didn't really refine of what's going to happen at the end. They really didn't find what's going to happen to the end. The obstacles they put in these people's journey were probably either non-existent or just so shitty that, you know, it was like, damn, this is awful. You know, they didn't really make a good climax at the end of Star Wars. The last one that they did, they didn't. I feel that the last one was the climax in Star Wars. The last one I just saw, the most recent one, was kind of lame. It was very lame. They had all this shit going on. We meet Luke, and Luke is in the future and all this shit, and then we get to the very fucking end. The very fucking end of the movie. And they killed Luke off for no fucking apparent reason. They killed him off for no fucking apparent reason. It's like a Jedi is like I gotta say, it's like a disposable tissue. You know, you use it once and it's gone. I mean, up until that point, it seems like Luke has been stuck on this fucking planet for a long ass time, and he's done nothing else. He actually did a fucking Yoda, you know, and just died. He just like, I'm gonna use my force and then I'm gonna die. You know, like that's crazy. That's just fucking crazy. You know, how's she gonna learn how to use the force? And they got that. I just saw the advertisement for the other movie, and I'm like, okay, so all of a sudden she just learns this shit. You know, it's stupid. You know, I was looking so forward into seeing a good Star Wars movie. I've been waiting a long time, and the one before the one I just saw was still not good. That one was not good. It actually started off pretty good, but at the end, it was nothing but another story about a Death Star. That's all it was. How the fuck you gonna make another Star Wars movie about the Death Star? I mean, who makes these Death Planets? You know, Acme Death Planet Company? You know, is it run by Wally Coyote? You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. Why they keep on I mean, it just shows you that, you know, Hollywood is just ideally bankrupt. They're out of ideas. You know, that's why you got the Avengers movies selling so good. That's why you got all this retro stuff selling so good. You know, movies like Pacific Rim could do better. You know, I mean, Pacific Rim, in my opinion, was a good movie. You know, but it's a thing of it's. They're not pushing it outside the movies. They're not pushing it. They're not pushing the damn story. But that's something totally different else. But Star Wars, I think the best Star Wars movie ever made has to be The Empire Strikes Back, because it was so much in that movie. It was so much in that movie. You know, you had the first one was okay. It was okay, but you get The Empire Strikes Back when you got people getting killed and dying and shit, and then you find out the most evilest one of the most evilest persons in the fucking film is this dude's dad at the end, and he almost dies trying to finding this out, you know, and his father's trying to turn him to be like him. And I mean, that's what you call good storyline. That's a good story wise. But then we get to the fucking third one, and it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? So the thing is to do a good movie, but make sure your movie has a beginning, middle, and end. And on your way to the end from the beginning, you try to refine and pick up the story more and more better than you did the beginning. Beginnings are easy to do because there's no defined end. Nobody knows what the ending's going to be. So you have control over the whole story until the end. But make sure at the beginning, it is important that you get your settings, you introduce your characters, have the actual reason of why they should go on the quest, and then have them go on the quest until they hit the apex. This would be the apex, the middle right here. The middle is when they get there, and then when they get there, they find like, oh damn, shit, there's something else we got to do before something else really badass happens. And like, we made a goal. We've got our resolve. Yeah, let's go ahead and take this resolve and finish this. And that's where you get to the end, and you got to make sure you refine and make this just as interesting as this part right here. This is the part that gets people coming to watch your shit. Why would you cheapen all that work you did at the beginning to do something lame and garbagey at the end? Lucasfilms. Copyright claim released. Thank you, YouTube. So, you know, another one bites the dust, and another one down, and another one down, another one bites the dust. So, oops, Control Z. I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. So, alright, now that I explained all this to you all. Alright, so that's basically how I'm writing Stella. Well, actually, this ain't the way I've done it so far. I've done the wrong thing, which is jump over. I have been jumping around the episode, and what I would do is I will plot out what's going to happen on these sticks, and what I would do is I will animate those based on how hard the animation is and who I got available to record voices and stuff. So what I do is it's like, okay, I got a beginning, I'll write it out in a sentence and then come back and refine it. But that's the wrong way to do it, and that's the problem I have with the script right now. I'm jumping around everywhere, and I have to make sure that what I'm doing is going to link up at the end. So that's what makes it so this so important when I'm making a script for the pilot, you know. And then you would probably like use this as a guide to actually finish out the rest of the story. Like, this would be episode 1, episode 2, but as you do these, you would actually make a bigger arc, and within that bigger arc you can slide these in each little slot as you so the overall, and what it would be the overall story arc, and then you will have your smaller arcs that go through the story. So that's so I've talked about this for a whole hour now, and that's basically where I'm at with the archive. And I'm just showing you all this to let you know that I am writing a story, and when I finish writing the main story, when I finish writing the main script, I'm actually going to hand it off to somebody else, and they're going to go through it, and they're going to fix all my f-ups. All right. I'm not a screenwriter, but I do write, and I do have a little skill at writing. I just don't do it a lot. I only do it when I find it necessary to write any parts for a scene. When working on Archive Infinity, I worked. Everybody's like, "Where does it begin? Where does it end?" I was like, "Well, I got parts," and I have been really trying to make my decision with the pilot. Now, the story is this: you got the pilot and the story. The pilot is to give you all a taste and wanting to come back for more. The actual series, the actual ongoing series, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, will have to center around what I did in the pilot. All right. So the pilot, I was thinking, should start where Stella had actually died. All right, where she first time she died. But I was like, that's too complicated to do right now at the beginning. What I need to do is introduce the world and the characters in this world, and introduce basically why is not actually not that, but just introduce the world, the characters, and introduce the fact that Stella, what Stella does, why she goes on the quest, why she's looking for this key, and that could all be explained in the pilot. And then at the end of the pilot, I will actually have the end of this episode, but it would be an end for a cliffhanger, which will actually lead into the series itself. So along the way, as she goes to the planet, I have to have a reason why she's going to the planet. So the reason why she's going to the planet is because she got a job. Stella is a mercenary, bounty hunter, and treasure, whatever. And not only that, is that she also have a group of individuals who aid her in her quest to recover the keys. Now, during this pilot, we can actually have a quick flashback scene to her past. Whether she dies, or where the first time she dies she remembers it, or she remembers waking up and not really remember what happened to her, when she died. I can put that in there to leave more questions that can be resolved in the series. All right. But the pilot right now is to get people's mouth watering for more what's going to go on. So as I look at the slices of this crazy onion I made, apple, watermelon, we want to call it, I see that I'm going to use this to refine the pilot, and then make a bigger arc for the overall story. The overall story is going to be the end, where everything ends. All the episode, everything that I create dead ends to that point, to where Stella is face to face with the ultimate evil, and the battle starts, and she either wins or she loses, or the galaxy is safe or it's not safe. The war ends. It could be anything that could probably lead into a second series or whatever, depending on how this pilot goes. So as I look at, as I go back and I refine the script for the archive, majority of shit been used. So this scene, this actual scene where they go back in time, could be the part I actually keep in there, and I can actually keep that in there. And the reason why she has to go to this planet, because she gets an assignment to go and rescue some guy who's been kidnapped, and she has to go to this planet. But the deal is, she rescued this guy because she's told that the guy knows about locations of certain artifacts. So that kind of piques her interest, and she goes on the mission. While she's trying to get ready to go, she runs into these mercenaries who are trying to take her in because there's a bounty on her head for the Federation because she's stolen one of the keys, which is the master key. They said she stole it, but she really didn't steal the master key. So these mercenaries show up, and then she uses some of the power from the 13th master key and blows them all away, whatever, deals with them, hops in her ship, flies off to the planet, lands on the planet, and then she infiltrates the base. She gets inside the base, she meets Ike, and she stomps on his face. Alright. After that part, we got some more stuff that happens after that, but why I mean, y'all know just only the beginning. Y'all don't know the end of this episode. But during that part, I will introduce some stuff that happens in Stella's past, and then we come back to where she actually rescues the doctor. She does some other stuff until she finally gets to a safe place at the end. So that's about it for the story. If anybody got any questions about it, just let me know. Oh, hold up. I know it's probably people on my other. Let's see. I forgot. I keep on forgetting to cut this thing on. I know it's probably people over there on YouTube. Oh, how's it going, Chuck? How's it going, Chuck? Fish aliens, can't trust fish aliens. How long is it going to be? Are they little fish aliens? Fish aliens, can't trust a fish alien. Nope, sure can't. Smash that like button and share. Yeah, everybody, smash that like button. Share. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't have my my thing up to let me know. I'm like over here on Facebook and. Interesting. The guy who crashed Jack's part, Han Solo, or episode 7. Okay, here's the deal. If you look at episode 7, 8, 9 as one single group, no, Rogue was great. Yeah. Yeah, I see. Yeah, so, about Rogue, I loved Rogue Squadron. You know, Star Wars Rogue One was awesome. It's because they took the concept of Seven Samurai, basically, and turned it to some sci-fi epic shit, dude. It was awesome. I liked it. I loved it. And then you get back to the regular Star Wars universe where everything was just garbagey. Major Gordo Davidson, yeah, it's funny. Hey, me and Lord Ike, could I have a shout out? Gabriel, who are you, Gabriel? Yeah, Gabriel. Yeah, you can shout out to Gabriel. Shout out to Gabriel. I don't know who you are, but what's up? Let's see. KSI. Except for KSI. Okay, so let me go back here. Okay, so since I got out the way, and I'll take care of this later. I bet you everybody's just probably waiting for me to do some animation anyway. So, I've been talking nonstop for an hour of doing animation and stuff. But the basic timeline. So what has to be done is I have to. So this is narration, and this is narration on the script. I have basically Pandora, soul keys, and limitless power. And what will happen is it will go from the narration of Stella talking about all this shit to it going to the actual kidnapping of the scientists, where all this shit gets kicked off, right? So scientists get kidnapped. A very important guy. Somebody contacts the guy who's going to contact Stella, tell him there's a bunch of money involved, send your best person. and then the asks why you need this guy. You know, you can send anybody, and they say, well, it's just a matter of you know, the relic. And he's like, well, I know somebody who's been looking for some relic stuff and information about relics. So he gives Stella a call. Stella's up in there. No, I haven't. None of that has been animated. I was on my way to animating all that stuff. I got most of the hard stuff done, which was basically redoing the original animation. I got all that stuff done. But the parts that I'm working on now, like I was working on a flashback scene the other day, and I got enough of that blocked out. I'm done with that, so I'm gonna go and start on the other parts, which basically is the kidnapping scene of the scientist. Yeah, of course it sounded new to you because this is stuff I haven't talked about, and this is stuff that I need to refine for the story, you know. And it's written out. I have it written out here on my paper. It took 2 years worth of writing on paper. I got to transfer all that stuff over to this program, then take what I got, put in a PDF, and then send it off to someone else who's going to take it and make my script sound that much uber better, and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I'm working on today, and one of the things I have to work out today is the kidnapping scene. For Dr. Lizana, who's going to be kidnapped. Who's going to get kidnapped by Gordo, you know, upon the request of the Great Ike. You know, sort of kind of like how real life, how, you know, the real actual Lorenzo Lizana got kidnapped and was forced to work in Ike's basement, and Dave was running Ike's little labor camp to make comic books in the basement and stuff. It's the same story. It's the same story. What more can I say, folks? What more can I say? So let's go ahead and let's get rid of this. And I'm gonna say, if anybody interested in this, getting this this template I just made here, it's gonna be in the virtual cinema animators guild on Facebook. So if everybody wants to know about the virtual animators guild on Facebook, I'm gonna do a video about it. Probably later on, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna do a video and put it out there for you all to get and download this stuff. Yeah, well, it might not be tomorrow either. It might be between now and Friday. I'll get around to it, but I'm gonna PDF this PDS. I'm going to make a I'm going to make a quick I'm going to make a PSD and then zip it up and then put it in the guild so people can have access to it, so they can actually use it to write their stories or whatever, or try to get their stories whatever. But this is a good way to really get your storytelling under control. And this is just a control for your storytelling. This doesn't show you how to write a story, but shows you how to keep your story under control to where you have a start, a middle, and an end. Now you can write your story. Your story can be still awful, but it will have the basic elements of a beginning, middle, and end. So as you keep to the concept of this arc. The arc is your timeline. The arc is where you start and end the story, and keep your notes. You can take this and you can like write your notes on here, expand this, you know, do whatever you want, you know, put numbers here and have the numbers correlate to your actual script writing, you know, of shit that happened. You can actually write the scenes like right here in this line, stuff like that. And when I start filling this out with the archive stuff, you'll see how I used it. Right now, I really just don't want to do any type of scripting right now, because scripting hurts my head, because I have to go back. It's like, what did I do? Oh damn, I forgot. I wrote this in, and I have to, like I said, I have to get this the storyline under control, because I have been writing. I have the basic concept of my story, which is the basic beginning of how it's going to be, and then I started adding stuff to it. and I started adding elements that I really wanted to tell the story of how, basically, how, who, what, where, and when in the world of Archive Infinity. And what I was doing is I was bouncing all around the place without doing the important stuff, which is actually making all this stuff link together. So the stuff I have right now links together because all I have right now is just the pilot that I've redone. But I have the rest of the stuff that I'm doing outside the pilot, which outside of the contest entry, which I'm beginning to link into the story itself and links. Because when I first originally made Archive Infinity, it had no story. It had nothing. It was about a chick running around with the guns, kicking ass, and stumping some guy in the face at the end. That's all it was about. We never knew why she infiltrated the base. We never knew what she was after in the base. And me doing this, going back and doing all this stuff, is giving you the answers of why she infiltrated the base and did those other stuff. And does all that other stuff, even kicked it, and why this guy actually knew her from the past. See, that could be, and that can be something we can explain in the series versus the pilot. You know, how did she know Ike? You know, why did they think she was dead after all these years? I mean, it's just the whole thing of putting pieces of the story in place so the people who watching it will actually be able to follow it and actually have fun and trying to figure stuff out. That you have see, when you're right, you have the power to let people know what you want them to know when you want them to know it. Same thing with directing a film. You're showing people what you want them to see. You know, it's basically a magician's trick. You're showing people what you want them to see, and as you show them what you want them to see, you know, you surprise them. You know, it's like tempo. Everybody knows tempo is the beat that goes like this, but for every tempo, you can do something like this. Take the tempo and switch it up and make it unexpected. You know, if you put something in there that goes, instead of, you throw people off. And when you throw people off, they're like, damn, you know, they're going to be like, why did this happen? You know, yeah, and they'll probably, that either make them leave your storyline or make them try to keep going with your storyline to figure out, why did this happen? You know? Same thing with Reallusion. Remember Reallusion? I forgot the name of the guy with the sword. I forgot his name. But he was the leader, and in the first season, he dies. I mean, he just totally dies. I mean, he dies. He dies, and that kind of threw everybody after he died. I forgot the guy's name in Reallusion. Simon, and I think his name Kaneda or something like that. I forgot his name. But he dies. He actually died. And it was like, whoa, they killed dude. You know, they killed him. You know, he's dead. And then Simon goes through this whole turmoil of his guy who he called his brother being gone and not there to guide him through the rest of his growing up. You know, and that kind of took something out of him. And in order for him to reach his resolve, he had to walk his own path. He had to say, he can't be like him. I got to walk my own path, you know, and that's what Simon did. He's like, hey, I got to walk my own path. You know, I have to do that. I can't sit back and wait for somebody to take your place. I have to get up off my ass and walk my path and lead my people. And that's basically what Simon did. And he became the leader, and he became a good leader until he got thrown in jail and backstabbed by the other guy, you know, that they found in the underground church. But watch Reallusion, you'll get what I mean. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, everybody, I'm going to take a break because it's noon and I'm going to eat me something. And what I want to do is I'm going to come back live again to actually start working on some start blocking out some more scenes that are needed for the beginning of the archive. I've already decided what I'm going to do for the beginning, and I finally I had a couple of ways to go. I had 3 different openings, and what I did is I had to take the 3 different openings and narrow them down, because you can't do everything in the beginning. You can only do one thing, and I think at the beginning it would make more sense to start off as a good explanation of basically why she has to go on this mission that she's going on. You know, I can get to the part of the Krill War and all that stuff later, and a whole bunch of other crap. But right now, I think I need to introduce the characters and get their roles established before I go in the past and show anybody else. You know, I can actually bring new characters in at the end of the pilot. You know, I can bring new characters in so people get interested to see who these characters are at the end. But right now, I need to introduce everybody to Stella, the world she's in, the people, the problems that she's gonna have, and all the other stuff. Because I only got 30 minutes to make this right, to make it good enough. And trying to tell a whole story in 30 minutes is not going to work. So I have to consolidate the film to include the main basic elements of the overall story. So that's why I'm explaining this all to you, what's going to go on with Stella, so I can move on and finish the beginning. The beginning needs to be blocked out. You know, I had to make a choice in the beginning. I was going to start with the Krill War and all this stuff, her getting killed. I was like, no, that's too much shit. That's a whole fucking 30 minutes worth of shit there. So I was like, okay, how about this? How about I just introduce her world, introduce the people she worked for, introduce the problem that she's gonna have, introduce the shit, some of the shit that we need to know about her, but we're not gonna find out about her until y'all get into the pilot, until the actual show picks up, you know. So if I got two options here, like the company, the network that I'm talking to right now, they are really like what I did. They like the new stuff I did. They like the fact that I won a contest, and they actually like the fact that I'm really going in on the black sci-fi thing, and thanks to Black Panther. But the thing about it is, and I'll be clear to everybody, that the Archive Infinity is not a one race only universe. It consists of a lot of people of different races, colors, and creeds and everything, and it's like anybody can take Stella's outfit and put it on and wear it. Anybody, whether you're black, white, Mexican, whatever, Asian, whatever, anybody can put that suit on and call himself Stella and going around kicking butt. You know, it's just I'm making a character universe for everybody to enjoy, you know, and make it a diversified universe. Like, you can go through a whole episode of Star Trek and only find, not Star Trek, Star Wars, and only find one black person in the whole universe, you know. So I want to actually make it a diversified project, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video now. I'll be back with part 2 of the live stream. I just want to go and get me something to eat, and take it from there. So this is One Gun. I hope you guys can come back. I'll be going for about a good hour, and I'll be back to finish the rest of part 6. All right. I'm not going to sit back and put up a what's the name. I'm not going to put this up anymore. I'll put this up when I have to take short breaks. But if I have to take a 2-hour break or something, if I take a 2-hour break, y'all, I'm going to just leave, just come back and just finish off part 6. So I hope you guys enjoy this and you all have a nice day. This is One Gun, and be good to everybody. Be good to everybody, and don't forget, everybody, I am the king of iClone. I know this. I've been anointed king of iClone. So I'm the 2015 Reallusion winner. You can see it right down here, and you can see it right over here and down the screen. I'm the 2015 best character animator for Reallusion, and I'm also the king of iClone. Thank you. So this is One Gun, and I am getting off, and I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, well, hold up. Let's see what some smart ass had to say. Alright, so catch me on the second part of this, which is going to be happening in 1 hour, people. I promise you I'll be back. I'm not going to, like, leave and then go to sleep for about 6-7 hours, then wake back up like, oh, damn, I promised them. No, I'm going to actually stay up, and I'm going to do this. I just want to get something to eat. I didn't have breakfast this morning, so I'm going to give you something to eat, and I'll be right back.